This YouTube link is showing.
Okay.
DJ.
Okay, I think we should begin. Should we send a message to Sushri? Seema, how come you have double images? Can't hear you.
Actually, I just want to have one photograph and one other for speaking. That's why on tab and mobile both.
So you have two images.
I will just shut down that image later on.
Okay.
Okay.
To check on YouTube also, no? That's why I have joined. सृष्टि दी से एक बार बात कर लीजिए.
हाँ, एक मिनट.
Shrishti ma'am has joined, ma'am. Ma'am, we can start. Ma'am, Shrishti ma'am has joined. Ma'am, Shrishti ma'am has joined.
Okay, let's begin.
Okay. So, a very warm good evening to everyone from Dr. Seema Sarkar, that is Department of English, Navyu Kanya Mahavidyalaya. I extend a very warm welcome to all the participants and a very happy new year. Let's begin this new year with a prayer. Asato ma sadgame, tamaso ma jyotirgame, mrityor ma amritam gamaya. Sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kasyit dukh bhag bhavet. With this prayer for a healthy, happy, and peaceful 2021, let's begin this lecture series number 3 of ELAN, that is English Literary Association of Navyu. With this, I invite our head, Dr. Sangeeta Kotwal, for her welcome note. Ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Seema. Good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome all of you who are here on this digital platform, particularly our guest of today's lecture series, Mrs. Sundaram Ojha. She's a versatile media personality and has been associated with the FM radio for a very long time. And I'm sure that whatever she speaks on, formatting radio and all, that will be very beneficial for our students. And I also invite Dr. Srishti Srivastava to speak a few words and welcome her on this platform. She has been very motivating in all our ventures, and it's because of her that we keep organizing such lectures. So Srishti ma'am, over to you.
Thanks, Sangeeta. On behalf of Navya Kanya Mahavidyalaya, I, Dr. Srishti Srivastava, welcome you all, especially our resource person, Sundaram Ojha ji. And I have a strong association with this digital platform, radio, TV. It is very important for expression. I'm sure that this lecture will be very useful for our students because we are running functional English. I also congratulate the Department of English for organizing such useful lecture series. It is a third lecture. I congratulate all my lovely teachers, all faculty members. They are very energetic. They are very dedicated. Thank you so much and enjoy this session. Thank you.
Thank you, Dee. Now I think we can start the lecture. I would invite Mrs. Sundaram Ojha to please deliver the lecture.
But
Ma'am, can
that,
you hear me?
Excuse me. Before that, ma'am, I think there should be a
there should be an introduction by Rashi. Okay. There will be an introduction by Rashi first. Rashi, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Radio is a source of information and entertainment as well as a means of mass communication. And to shed more light on the topic, we have with us today Mrs. Sundaram Ojha. She is a radio professional, freelance translator, and content creator presently living in Ranchi. She has a decade of field experience in the field of media industry, web translation, and other new mediums. She has been working as a freelance Hindi as well as English translator and content creator in various organizations. She had also worked in 93.5 Red FM at Bhopal and Lucknow locations, where she had researched and organized several activities such as Red FM Kathappa, Sachin Not Out, and delivered a jingle titled Yuva So Josh to a government client that became the caller tune, which also went on to become the caller tune of 2.5 lakh CUG numbers. We are honored and glad to have you with us today, ma'am. And now I would request you to enlighten us with your words. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. A very good evening to all of you, respected principal ma'am, all the respected faculty who have invited me and given this opportunity, Dr. Seema Sarkar, Dr. Sangeeta, and Rashi ma'am, and all dear students. First of all, I would like to wish you all a very happy new year. And in fact, a healthy new year because we all have strived hard in 2020. And I wish you all a very happy, healthy, vibrant, and positive new year. So I hope that you all would have spent your Christmas holidays and the New Year holidays as well with your family, and you all will be great in health. So today I will try to. It will not be a lecture. I will try to just share my experience, what I have done as a producer and as a copywriter at Red FM, and also with various other mediums. So I will be sharing my experience that how I became a copywriter and how I have explored the medium. So I'll be sharing writing for radio formats. So I will request technical team just to allow me to share my screen so that I can present a small PPT from my device.
Yes, ma'am. I'm doing that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. You can do that now.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. So before that, before starting my presentation, I would like to listen from any of the student who just want to like share that what they understand from radio. What is radio as a medium for them? Any one student can unmute themselves for a minute and just tell me in brief that what is radio for them.
Radio means giving information and different kind of users, and it's using for entertainment also, and it's a we can see group discussion and interviews also on the radio, and we can find different kind of radios like commercial radio and non-commercial radio. By that, like they have different kind of tastes. Like if you talk about commercial, so they are based on the profit, and they're just playing songs. Most of they're not that much informative. But if we talk about non-commercial, so they're governmented and they're too much informative. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Sakshi. Thank you so much. I just wanted to listen from a student. So thank you so much for giving this initial insight. Now I will share my presentation. So give me 2 seconds. My screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So, before writing for radio program formats, we should know that there is a structure, that is the three-tier system of the radio. That is, first, public service broadcasters. Second is commercial broadcasters, that is FM channels, and third is community radios. So, public service broadcasters, as Sakshi has told us, that the government channels, so they come under that category, like All India Radio, Vivid Bharati, and all the government owned stations, they come under public service broadcasters because they run on the basis of a license fee and supported by the government, funded from the tax of the public. So that is why they are public service broadcasters. Second ones are commercial broadcasters, that are FM channels running in our cities, which we listen oftenly. And the third one is community radio. Community radios are dedicated to these special communities, to the universities, to campuses. So you would have listened to the campus radios and special community radio in some NGOs. The difference between all these three stations is on the basis of technology as well. Just like in commercial broadcasters, I said FM channels. What does FM means? FM means frequency modulation. Whereas when we talk about public service broadcasters, there comes AM and SW, that is shortwave. Like AM is amplitude modulation and SW is shortwave modulation. So there used to be technology in olden times, and the public service broadcasters have used that amplitude modulation. The coverage of the area is larger as compared to the FM channels. Like FM channels transmitters covers only 50 kilometers, 40 to 50 kilometers of the range, and the public service broadcasters cover the whole country. Like we can hear the All India Radio broadcast, like this Vivid Bharati broadcast throughout across the country, and the FM channels are situated in the cities. They are localized. They are in the various cities, different cities. So because their transmitter only limits into the 50-kilometer of the area, and the community radio, they have the transmitter of very low area coverage, that is we can say 10 kilometer, up to 10 kilometers. So these are the three main segments which I have just divided for the broader understanding, that for which medium we are going to write a script. It is very much important to know because if you have heard the FM channels, how they talk very casually, how they talk with their listeners, hey, what's up, what's going on, like that. But when we listen to the public service broadcasters, they sound very disciplined, like very structured. The formalized way of scripting is there, can be seen there. So these are the differences. So before writing scripts, we have to know for which medium we are going to write. So we should know the characteristics of the medium. Radio makes pictures. So we have to make pictures from words. We have to choose words which can detail and which can give detailed descriptions. Unlike to the television or the visual medium, we don't have pictures. For visual medium, you have heard that phrase which says that a picture is more than 1,000 words. So when we have support of picture or visuals, we can say less words. But when we are on this medium, on radio, we have to be dependent on the words. So words makes picture, so radio makes picture. Radio speaks to individuals and masses. This has to be in our mind, because when we are writing a script, we have to write it in such a way that when we are talking, a person sitting individually in a room can connect to the RJ or to the announcer or to the host. And at the same time, there are 50 people or 100 people or lakhs or thousands of people. They are sitting individually in their spaces, but they are listening to that person and they are feeling connected. So radio speaks to the individuals and masses. Third is radio as background. Radio do not demand too much your attention, like just like just like the print medium and television, they ask for too much. They ask like your complete attention. You cannot withdraw your attention from there. But you can play radio in background and you can do your work. You can do your kitchen chores, or farmer go to the fields, and you can listen to the radio. You can solve your math sums, etc., etc. And radio is selective. Why? A print medium has several pages. They can adjust all the news in the columns, in the different pages, and you can read and whatever you want to read. But on radio, at a particular time, the producer or the content writer has to be selective, that because they have to say some particular thing that has to be heard at the particular time. So radio is selective, and radio is low cost. That we all know that it comes with, now it is more cheaper because we all are having the Android or the mobile devices. So it is inbuilt in our phones, so it is very inexpensive or low cost. So moving forward, I'll be just sharing about documentary, commercials, promos, teasers, commentary, and talks. You can write down your doubts, and we'll be discussing at the end. You can ask in Q&A. So moving forward, the first format which I'm going to discuss is documentary. So now what documentary is? A documentary to provide a balanced, rounded, truthful account of something or someone. That is documentary. So as it names make it obvious, to document something is documentary. To document means which has evidence, which has actual proof, which can be recorded. That is documentary. So while planning a documentary, what are the points which we have to keep in mind? Like, what is the subject or the topic we are going to choose for the documentary? That will be the first thing. The documentary, what will be the topic for the documentary? That will be the first thing. Will it be a person? Will it be a situation, the social issue? What will be that one thing about which we are going to talk? The second thing is planning, that how to plan a documentary, and it has to be well researched. It has to be well planned, and I will share about planning in detail in further slides. Till I'm just moving forward, that we have to do the research, because documentary is always going back to the basics. We have to go to the libraries. We have to search for the old newspapers or the sources, original sources from where we are going to form our stories. We are going to form our a script. Then collecting the material, like what will be the elements of your this documentary, like the voices, the bites, the experts, the person involved in that activity, about whom we are going to write. So we have to collect all the material before planning this thing. Next is impression and truth. So like when we are creating a documentary, we have to make it in such a way so that the listener can get a feel, that they can believe on it, that yes, it is actual and this is truth, this is fact based. Because in documentary we have to keep it everything based on evidences. We should have the records, we should have the documents for everything which we are going to present. Then the next thing is like music, the selection of music, that should be like in documentary most of the time we do not use too much music. It should be like raw, and it should go raw to sound truthful, to sound real, in like very real. And sounds which should be used, that should be used with too much care. Just like suppose we are making a documentary on a train, then if we are creating train sounds, train sirens, or train coming and going sounds, so we have to be very much careful that where we have to put it. We should not interrupt the voices coming in between. So we have to be very much careful that where the pieces has to be put, so that atmosphere can be created. The next is compilation of each and everything, what to put at first in the opening, and then what next, then next, then next. So compilation comes like with this, the this thing ki, how we have to merge all those things together, pieces together. Then after that, program sequence. Like program sequence, it depends person to person, that which kind of style he or she is opting for creating the program or the script. Like one person can open it with the voice of that local person who is involved in that story, or a person can open the story with the narrator's voice. So it depends upon the creative freedom and the selectiveness of the producer or the writer of that script. Then the ending, then it has to get, and the ending has various options. Just like sequence, ending has various options. How you want to end it, you want to close all the things by the narrator, sum up by the narrator, or you want to give a open ending so that listener may assess or decide that what to think of that thing. And then comes contributors, that whoever has participated in that documentary, they should be taken in account, and they should be asked, that they should be informed time to time that what portion of their voice or their interview has to be is going to be on air in the final product. They has to be kept in the confidence. And if possible, like in government stations, they do whomsoever they ask or they invite for participation, they ask to pay them a minimal check as a amount of respect or a token amount. So the private stations do not do that, but they maintain their PR in some other ways. So we have to be like very much careful for the contributors. We should not take them for granted, we have to care for them. Then programs in real time, like there are documentaries which has been created in the real time, that when at that time when the situation is going on. For example, the farmer protest is going on in our country, and if one of you thinks that we have to make a documentary on this, then you have to research all the aspects of that, how it started, what was the history, what were the reports of like Swaminathan report, X report, Y report, what were the APMC mandis. Then you have to research each and everything just before putting it down into the script. So this will be the real time program, right? So these were the few elements which we need to know to writing a documentary. And the planning which I told you, that I'll just explain in the this slide. So I'm giving you a example, or this is from like BBC radio, because English content is majorly has been created in BBC, and a few government channels are creating that. But in private sector, unfortunately, there are no English channels in our region. Like in Lucknow, there are no English channels. In Delhi, there is Radio 1 which used to broadcast English music and English programs as well. But due to the lack of listeners, like their advertising needs, etc., the monetary needs, they have become all like Hindi channels. So for when you want to learn the English script writing, you have to listen to those English programs which have followed the path. So I'm just giving one example. For example, this example is from a coastal region of radio. That radio serves in the coastal region, and the working title will be "The Return of the Trawler Man." The fishing people, they use a boat to catch fish. So this documentary deals with the return of the trawler man. So before making that documentary, the producer or the team, what planning do they have done? So they have put it down, they have jotted down. So all those points are here, so you can just get an idea that whenever you are going to write a documentary, how you can collect all those materials, you can how you can plan your documentary. So like working title is "The Return of the Trawler Man." Aim is to provide the listener with an understanding of the impact which changes in the deep sea fishing industry over the last 20 years have had on the people who work in it. And duration is the most important thing. Like here it has been mentioned, duration is 30 minutes. So you have to check it very carefully that the pieces, the amount, the content, the whatever the material you have collected, that will fit into 30 minutes or not. Then you have to edit it out, that what should be in that set time frame which we have been briefed. We have to do it in that time limit only. Then what will be the information? The annual figures for shipping use, shipping tonnage, men employed, fish landed, turnover, profit, investment, etc. Whatever comes to your mind related to that. So you will just jot it down so that we'll not forget that what are the elements we need to combine in our script. Then content will be historical account of development in the last 20 years. For example, technological changes, searching, catching, freezing methods, economical changes like larger but fewer ships, implications for owners in the increase in capital costs, social change resulting from fewer jobs, higher paid works, longer voyage, and better condition on board, political changes, new European Union regulations, and relating to international water, size of nets, offshore limits, impact of other European fleets, etc., etc. So these are the things that what all the changes, all the aspect, technical aspect, political aspect, social change, everything we have to write down, that we have to cover these areas, we have to research on these areas. We need people, we need experts from these areas who can comment with the authority. Then what will be the key questions before writing this kinds of script, these kind of scripts? So key questions might be like, what has happened to the men and the ship that used to work here in large numbers? What has happened to those areas of the city where previously whole streets were dependent on fishing as a livelihood? Family life, local shopkeepers, etc., loss of comradeship. How has the price of fish changed relative to the cost of running the new high-tech ships? What has happened to fish stocks? What is the scientific evidence for this? How significant are the political factors affecting fishing rights in distant waters or wars? Is the industry in any case undergoing more fundamental changes? What do the men and their families feel about the industry now? Where is any animosity directed? Will the trends continue into the future? Interview sources. Now you have to define the interview sources like National Federation of Fishermen of the organization. In that case, whatever is needed, they have just used those sources like docks and harbor board, shipbuilders, fleet owners, skippers, fishermen, past their past and their present. How the fish industry authorities, the related sea fish industry authorities, what they are saying, what their take is. Then representatives of fish processing industry, oil, frozen food, etc. Government ministry officials, members, and parliaments. Then wives of seamen, etc. So these are all the points which I have just jotted down. You can easily find it. You can easily find it in your textbooks, which has been recommended to you. So you'll get all these things there. It is just to get an idea that before writing a documentary on any topic, we need to. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Good.
okay. There was some disturbance. Okay. So we just have to keep it in mind that we have to research each and every detail. We have to note down that which are the areas we need to just brainstorm. That we should not have we have not to leave any of the aspect of that thing, because documentary means which is truth based, which is fact based, which has evidences, which has records. So this is about writing documentary. And now I'll come to the commercials, the second format. And you all listen to the advertisements on radio day and night. And what do commercials do? So the purpose of an advertisement is to sell things. It is not this they're simply to amuse people or to impress the chairman's wife. It is designed to move goods off shelves, cars out of showrooms, and customers eagerly towards services. The radio advertisers must use a good deal of skill in motivating a target audience to a specific action. The effective advertisement will, what will be the key pointers of the effective advertisement? The interest, inform, then involve, then motivate, and direct them to buy or to purchase that product. So that will be the work of a commercial or a advertisement. But practically I would like to share one or two experiences. Like there was a line written in this description, like as I said that it is simply not to amuse people or to impress the chairman's wife. But in many times you'll get a few clients, they will come and they'll say that we like this script and or we want this script like in such a way. And as a copywriter and as a content creator, you know that it is not sounding beautiful, or it is not appealing, it is not creating interest, and you suggest them. But they are like very much stubborn and adamant that they don't want to change that thing. So at some point you have to agree with them. You cannot fight with them in commercials, because this is not in news. In commercial or in advertisement, ultimately it is led by the money. And ultimately you have to sell the product also. You have to, what you will do when you will go to a shopkeeper and you will try to buy something, and at the first like he shows you two options of something, like two clothes of like two saris, a shopkeeper shows you, and you just pick one of them. And he knows that that is not good, but you have liked that piece only. So what he will do, he will just try to convince you that it suits you much. You, ma'am, you should take this. You will you'll be looking beautiful, and he will sell it to you. So in practicality, when a client is asking you, ethically you need to suggest, sir, this is good for you, this is not good for you, this is not sounding good, this is sounding good, as a listener, as from the target audience perspective. But after suggestion, if he or she does not listen to you, you have to go with your sales team and with those clients. This is just a practical insight and experience I'm sharing. Because what happens when we go to the radio or the industry in the practical field, we are very much like attached to our scripts, that I have written, this is so beautiful, no one can challenge it. But no, the script is not beautiful until it gets approved by the client, because then only it will be able to run on air, and then only it will be monetized, then only it will produce money. So a good script is not what you feel. The good script is which is saleable, which can give you money, which can generate revenue for your station. That is a good script, that is a saleable script. And most of the time that was a exceptional case which I told you. But most of the time, if you will write from your heart and applying your brains onto the brief, paying attention onto the brief given by the client, you will be cracking that client, you will be cracking that script on the very first attempt. And if not in first attempt, in second, third, you might do that. So that was just an insight. Then commercials. So what are the elements of writing commercials? Like we have to be aware of copy policy. What is copy policy? So what is copy? First I will just describe it in media industry and in advertising world, advertisement script is typically known as copy. Copy means advertisement copy. Like news copy is also copy. That is why editors are called copy editors. We call that script as copy, news copy, or this advertisement copy. So we'll be say this is the copy, this is my copy, this is ad copy. So we have to know the copy policy, like while writing copy, we have not to be defamatory to any caste, gender, religion, etc., etc., the basic common sense and the ethical rules which we are studying in the mass media and the ethics portion. I'm sure you would have gone through that, the ethics portion, the media laws and the ethics, which are for television as well. And for radio, there are 8 points of all India radio broadcasting conduct. You all, I will just recommend you to note it down and read it later, that what are those 8 points which we should keep in mind. Like there are a few points that we should not criticize our friend countries, neighbor countries. We should not say anything defamatory to the which figures and like public figures, and we have to like keep a code of conduct. There are 7 to 8 points. You can just go through that, you can note it down. All India radio 8 points code of conduct, broadcasting conduct. So you can read that. And copy policy, using our basic common sense, not to violate copyright act, not to use others material, not to use music pieces in our songs and in our advertisement, sorry, in our advertisement copy, in our copy. So these are the copy policies which we should know. We can't repeat the same idea again and again. Someone else can claim the copyright that this was my idea, I have already done it. So we have seen so many TV advertisements or radio advertisements. They are very different, they are not similar, because it would have created the copyright problem. So we have to keep this thing in mind, that we are not violating any copyright issues. The second thing is the target audience. Who are the target audience? Means like the product or the service which we are going to promote, or for which we are going to create our advertisement, that is related to which age, or like which gender, like it's female product, it's male product, it's for children, for whom, or for senior citizen. So when we will take that thing in our mind, that will be the that will ease our work to just think of the drama ahead, that how we will create that thing, for whom is this message is primarily intended. So we have to think of our target audience. Like if I am creating a advertisement for students, then I have to keep the characters very lively, like student, the friendly characters. The two friends are talking, hey Ramesh, what's your plan for new year? Are you going there? We are going to this club, so let's chill, go there. So it's like that. So my target audience was students or the young people, so I will create in that manner. Then the next is the product or the service. What is the product or the service? What is the specific quality to be promoted? In radio we have to be like very much specific in choosing the USP, that is unique selling, the unique selling, like uh, just a minute. Unique selling point. So any product has what is that one or two key features which should be taken, which should be chosen to make emphasis on. Because in print we have like space, we can fill in everything, but in radio you have to create a 10-second spot or a 20-second spot or a 30-second spot. Then we cannot fill everything there. So we have to be like very much selective, that which one thing is about this product or the service which can catch the ears, which can create interest of the listener, which can make it sellable on air. So we have to choose any one or two features. And sometimes client will ask you to put more features, like "Sir, थोड़ा और डाल दीजिए, अच्छा ये भी डाल दीजिए, इसके अंदर ये भी डाल दीजिए." But you have to be somewhere at the point, like no, in 10 seconds this is only possible, otherwise it will not sound like smooth and sellable. So you have to convince, you will try to convince them. If they does not get convinced, so it's fine, then you can't do anything about that. But the thing is, as a copywriter, you have to choose one or two key features one or two key specific things around which you will revolve, or around which you can weave your story. You can write your drama, you can write your commercial. Then third is writing a copy, that what content and style will be appropriate. Like if you have only 10 seconds, now you have to utilize each and every second very creatively. You can create a conversation in 10 seconds or not, or you can just use a anchor VO, or just a male VO or a female VO. So what can be done in those 10 seconds to make that product uh, uh, different from the others, how it can be unique in its own way. So you have to keep it in your mind, what style are you going to um, take. So the next is voicing and treatment. This is very much important while working in the radio. You have to think of the voice and the treatment, that what are the resources you have available in your station. Like the when we write a copy, for example, I'll give you these movies. Like if someone is making Mahabharat or Ramayana in audio format for radio, they'll be thinking of the voices like Amrish Puri, Om Puri, because these voices are heavy voices. So these voices are for like a character of Ravana, or to whom to portray as Ram, to whom to portray as Sita. So these voices has to be like, when someone writing down that script, they are also thinking of the voice. So when you are writing a commercial, you know what voiceovers you have available in your station or in your reach to the other stations of yours. Like if you are working in a station and that station has other branches in other cities, and you are familiar with the other person as well, and you know that which voice has which kind of speciality. Like someone can do mimicry thing, someone can do a child view artist, someone can do a old age person. Everybody cannot do everything. So everyone has a unique feature. So you have, while writing a script, you have to keep it in your mind that your lines, your script will be best suitable in which voice, and that has to be available in your station, or in your like as much as early you can get them. So you have to be like thoughtful of your resources using in the limited time, because you'll be always facing the deadline pressure, always facing the timeline pressure. The client is asking that today we have to on air our commercial, today we have to go on ground for this activity, we have to do that. So the deadline pressure will be always there, and especially in festive seasons, in Diwali, Holi, you'll be having lot too much pressure. Like in a day you have to deliver more than 20-25 scripts. So you have to be very wise and thoughtful of this thing, that in a limited time, in a limited resource, how you can utilize the voices, what treatment you can give to your scripts, how innovatively you can write those scripts. So voicing and treatment both are very much like important things. Then music and effect. While writing your script, you have to mention your special effects. Like in short form we write it SFX. So you have to mention your special effects in your script. Like if you are writing some you are trying to create a jungle scene in your copy, advertising copy, and you have to create a flute, like somebody is playing flute in the jungle, in the forest. So you will write there the special effects flute playing in the jungle. So so the sound engineer who will be producing your script, he will use the sounds accordingly which you have written in your scripts. You might have to supervise the sound engineer that please use this sound at this place. And suppose if you are not in the office due to some reasons, but if it is written there in the in your script, in your copy, he or she can understand that, because they are also like expert in their work. So they can get a feel that what a writer is trying to say. He's creating the jungle scene, then the story is linking in the jungle, then it is telling about a movie of Jungle Book or something, or some related thing. So he will be getting that. So special effects has to be mentioned in our copy. Then music and effects. After that, humor, that how we can put use humor in advertising. I have an example in my mind that is from my own experience. So it comes from the Hindi script. Like there is a restaurant in Lucknow named Curry Leaf. So they asked that we offer South Indian food. So we want something on the lines of Chennai Express thing. So that scene, if something we can do around that. It was the brief. So I just thought of the highlighted scene of that movie where Deepika Padukone gets nightmare and she just screams like Thangabali, Thangabali. So I just wrote that in such a way like Thangabali, Idli Utma De, Thangabali, uh, Sambar Utpam De, all the South Indian things. And then the anchor viewer comes in a laughing way and it says that if you have to enjoy the South Indian food, you have to go so and place. This. So this was just an idea that how you can create that thing in a 15-second and 20-second spot. Okay, so humor can make your scripts more breaking the clutter thing on when you're listening it on air. So this is about writing commercials. So how the product or service premise has to be set, like, so as I told early that identify one or perhaps two key features about the product which mark it out as especially attractive. For example, its usefulness, its efficiency, simplicity, low cost, durability, availability, value for money. So these are the things, so we can choose one or two things and we can use it. I have already described this thing. Then the second thing is to develop the critical premise, the first line. If you are not creating a dialogic format of the commercial, you are writing it in a plain way. So there are 10-second spots. In 10 seconds, what we can do, we can use anchor voice. We write AVO for that. The short form for anchor voice is AVO. So which is, I'm just telling these terms which is being used in the industry. So they use AVO. So that can be a female AVO or can be a male AVO. So always the anchor voice, we think of something different from the other voices, the natural character voices. Character voices are like somebody is playing character in anchor voice who have some command over the language, or not language, I will over the style, the how anchor is like uh, taking hold of that product or that service which is being promoted. So the critical premise for consumer benefit has to be designed first. There are given 2 3 examples, like you are promoting few products. You can guess from this critical premise that about what kind of thing I am going to talk in the rest of the part of these things. Like first is clean breath helps personal relationships. What comes to your mind while listening this line? Clean breath helps personal relationships. So you'll get maybe some mouth freshener or maybe some paste, some this type of product. This line gives me that feeling. The second thing is disinfecting your bathroom gives you a safer home. So this is like some toiletries or the some like products which we use in our toilets to clean them. So it is giving us the feeling what we are trying to establish in the critical premise. Then like serving rich coffee impresses your friends. This might be a line for a coffee place or for a coffee brand, for both of them. Like driving while drunk kills innocent people. This is a public service message, like we should not drive while drinking. So these are the critical premise. When we just come up with these lines, we have to test it. We have to test it out on other people. Whenever we come up with like these lines, and we have to just where we can test it in our office premises only. So we can go and we can ask the members like just let us know what is it about. What do you get? What the feeling are you getting from this line? What are you feeling? What could be that this product? What could be this service? So just like that, you have to just come up with a critical premise, and then you have to test it on the people, that how they are reacting. They have Then you have to be very observant. You have to catch that reaction. What was the first reaction when a person listened to those lines? If the premise is shown to be true, like whatever you have imagined, if I will say this, the person listening to this will react in such a manner. And if it is true to your imagination, then it is now necessary to connect the product firmly with it. So you can join rest of the information ahead of it, and in such a way you can create your commercial. So I was just trying to give the example. So this was about commercials. And one more thing before moving to the promos, I will just describe about the commercials, that there are two major categories of commercial. One is spot and second one is jingle. But people often get confused with that. They think that both are the same thing. Jingle is a musical production, always a advertisement copy of music in a musical way. The jingles are like washing powder, Nirma. This is a musical, this is a jingle. This is not a spot which is conversational, which can be conversational, descriptive, like prose. But wherever the poetry and the music comes, even poetry is also come under spot. But the musical production where the music, this it has been converted into the form of a song, then it is known as jingle. So this is the difference between spot and jingle. So people get confused with that, but these are two different properties of the commercial. And many a times the spot is also known as this creatives. People say creatives to these advertisements. We need a 30-second creative, we need a 40-second creative, we need a 60-second creative. One more point I would just like to tell in that how to check your script, whether it is in 10 seconds or not, whether it is in 20 seconds or not. You have to um, count your words on, like when you are typing, you can see the word limit, word count. So there is an average speed of the words, that is 30 words per 10 seconds. All right. So keep it in mind whenever you write a script. There will be average 30 words per 10 seconds. So if you have to write a 20-second script, you will just double it, the 60 words. If you have to write a 30-second script, that will be 90 words. So word counts are there to guide you that how to keep your scripts in a limited time frame. And also it depends upon the it is not like this is not form rule that if there are 30 words, it will only and only be fitted into the 10 second. It can go up to 12 and 13 and 14 second if the pace is quite low. If you have written like a very smooth voice comes over this, if you want this pace to be there, maintained there, if you are guiding your voiceover artist that you have to make your pace in such a way, then your time limit may cross. But in general, you can have an idea that in 10 seconds there are 30 words. So if it is going in a general pace, in a normal thing, then 30 word is like limit for 10-second spot. All right. So just keep it these pointers in your mind while writing your scripts. So next I'll be explaining the promos. So promos are the part of the station's total presentation, how it sounds, and as a way it sells itself. Like selling one's own program on the air is like marketing any other product. So there are station promos, there are show promos, and there are commercial promos and activity promos. Promo is short form for promotions. All right. So you would have seen in television, you are watching a serial, and then suddenly you see the other programs uh, promotion, that is called show promo. Like if you are watching Dancing Superstars, you are watching the promo of Kapil Sharma show, that see at this time at this. So explaining the what they do, what are they trying to do. So just think of that format, that what a promo is doing in television, the same thing the promo is doing in the radio. It is selling the station, it is selling the shows. So according to that, the promos has been segregated. Like a station promo, for example, if you listen to any of the channel, Big FM, Red FM, Fever, so all of them have their station song, the station promo. Like in case of Big FM, Dhun Badal Ke To Dekho, there is a complete song that is a musical show promo of that station. Like in Red FM case, you listen Bajate Raho. Bajate Raho is a catchphrase, but the full song, when they would have launched it initially, there was a full song of 50 second or 1 minute, that was station promo, that how the station sound. So it sells the station, it tells about the target audience, that what we are going to offer you. Like Mirchi Love started, and they were floating the promos on air, saying that the love ki baatein hongi, and this that hamare saath suniye, join kijiye, this, and then telling their frequency at the end. So those were the show promos. So station promos, sorry, station promos. Then second is show promo. Show promo is which is selling a show. Then show promos can be also like different type. It may sell the RJ personality, and it may sell the program characteristics. Various channels have the different approach to sell their programs. So they make promos in that way. There will be a general promo which will be telling about the show, but when the show start going on air for a long time, and after that what they do, uh, they will be using a highlight, what happened today in morning number one. So there will be highlights of the show, and that will be packaged in such a way with that musical promo, that the initial will catch the music thing, then in between there will be speech, and then end of that again the music will come and it will fade out. So this will be the structure of the promo. So few stations tend to promote their RJs on the basis of their RJs, and few stations only promote their shows. Like someone will promote, especially on Radio City, we see they promote their shows rather than their RJs. And other stations, few of the stations promote their RJs more. So the promo will be written on that basis, like in which station you are working, what is the ideology of that station, what is the technique of that station in the market, do they project their RJs or their content or their program. If someone is promoting their program, suppose, then you will be promoting the key points of that program, like we'll be having prank call, we'll be having a birthday wish, we'll be having this, that. So whatever be the highlight thing, you can promote that thing in the promo. So while writing that, we have to keep it in mind that which format which we are going to promote. So these are the things. And musical and creative promo, station promo, then RJ personality, and then the commercial promos. Commercial promos are for clients, like a new product or service is being launched, and they want a promo rather than this spot or creative or jingle. What uh, in which conditions do we need the commercial promos? When somebody is doing an on ground activity, any launch activity, in that case we will be running the promo that they are coming with so and so, there is a opening of this mall, and there will be so much of people, there is that. So we'll be having an activity there, you can come there, you can play, you can win. So this type of activities, they will be paid obviously, and they will be paying money for that, so they will be commercial, but they will be not spot, they will be promos. So whenever you will be asked to create such things, you have to just observe that what is being asked to deliver, what I have to give
चल
them.
तो रहा है
So
कर दे लाइट हाथ जोड़ के
the last one is activity promo of stations. This is not like there are two types of activities also. The commercial activities, which I told, when a launch of a product or the service is being done, and the second is activities of programming. If you all would have been aware of this thing, that in a radio station there are two different teams, like programming and sales. The programming department is responsible for creating all the programs which we listen from morning to evening. So those are the programming part, and the sports and the commercial, that has been taken care by sales department but created by the programming department. So copywriter is a person who works like a bridge between sales and programming. So they have to contribute for programming as well, and they have to contribute for sales as well. So activity promos are like, I have written two examples, City Ke Sitare and Red FM Ka Tashanbaz. Both are on the same lines. Like these were the activities for finding talent among the students in the colleges. So City Ke Sitare was if someone is good at singing and dancing and this thing, so they'll be having competition. So how they created that promo, if you remember, any one of you, if you would have listened that promo, that a bullet sound will come on air for a few seconds, for 5 to 6 seconds, and a bullet sound is very distinctive. We can easily recognize that yes, someone is playing a bullet. And after that bullet, someone will come and say, do you want to win this bullet? Have you some talent like singing or dancing? Just come with us, so and so, at so and so place and so time. You can show your talent, you can win this activity, and you can be the winner. So just like that. So how it has been made it has been directed towards call to action, like creating that sound of bullet by telling them that we are going to give you this prize. So this is like just like that. So these are activity promos where we write the script in such a way. Then the structure of the promo, just I have just provided, like music, the bright faded on musical phrase held under speech for 5 seconds. Then speech comes, obtains interest for 10 seconds, suppose there is something. Then provides information on content for 5 seconds. Then music edit at low level under speech, and then gives transmission details, that what time, at what time you can listen, you can tune in to which station, what is the frequency, extra, etc, etc. And then music comes, and the music which can establish the feel with that particular program, with that particular activity, with that particular station. So that music is very important. The stationality of any station, or the ID of any program. If you are listening to morning number one, if you are listening to U-turn, if you are listening to any other program, there are songs or some recognition like IDs, the IDs of the program, the musical IDs, the hooks which RJs keep playing when they start opening their conversation. So those music pieces has to be used if the show or the activity or the promo is about is about is speaking about their program. And if there is some activities going on, they exclusively design some musical productions for that particular activity or for particular that program. So we can use that musical promos with the content promo, with combining them together in such a way, which you can see on your screen. So you can like take a screenshot, or you can write it down, whatever you feel like. So the promos has to be written in such a way. The aim and objective has to be clear in copywriter's mind, that what I have to achieve, what am I going to achieve. So that will be achieved on this basis. Then after promos, I'll just tell briefly about teasers. Teasers, as it is obvious with the name, which teases, which just create curiosity. What is next? What is happening? So when we use teasers, when RJ is being launched, like a new RJ is in the station, and we have to launch him or her. So we'll make teasers. So we will give some snippets of her voice or his voice, and the other voice can come over and say, oh, who was that? So you want to know? Stay tuned, or coming soon, like that. So these are teasers. I'm just giving you the glimpse so that whenever you will be listening to the mediums, you will be able to identify then which property or which thing is which thing or which property comes under which format. So you'll be able to distinguish. So teasers are used on the launch occasions, like RJ launch, program launch, or an activity launch, to just create the buzz, to create curiosity. Like there was a product Namaste India, so they created teasers in starting. So in start, teasers should be in such a way that it will not reveal anything about the product, and it will create only curiosity, so that people will ask, what is that, what is that, what is that. After that, after a week of that airing, that we they can switch to the promos, and they can reveal it slowly. So we also see these things on television, on the visual medium. But while writing for ears, for writing for radio, we have to keep it in our mind that we are not using visuals. So we have to choose the word in such a powerful manner, so that those words can say those things what we want to deliver in listeners mind. Like commercial teasers, as I told, for products and services. And elements for teasers are curiosity followed by coming soon and stay tuned, to know more, stay tuned, be there. These things are like that. So these are teasers, and teasers are not more than 10 seconds, a very small teaser, 10 to 15 to maximum 20 seconds, not more than that. So these are the teasers. Then comes commentary. Commentary we all have listened, especially the sports commentary we have listened. And the aim of the radio commentator is to recreate it in the listener's mind, not simply a picture, but a total impression of the occasion. But suppose if you are watching a sports commentary over television and you are able to see that visual and a person is explaining those details again and again, you get irritated. Why he is telling everything? Ball ko uchal diya hai, aisa kar diya hai, vaisa kar diya. Why he is just explaining? But think from the perspective of a listener of a radio who is not able to watch those visuals at that time, at that particular moment, how beneficial for him or for her it will be to describe it, to explain it in such a manner that, like, now the field has been opened, the bowlers are coming, the batsmen have gathered, this is happening, that is happening, each and every detail, because a commentator have to be like very much you can say they have to be very much observant. Also, they have to capture all the feelings, all the nuances, everything, ambience, atmosphere, everything they have to translate in their verbal speech what they are talking on air. So while preparing for a commentary, it cannot be completely scripted in advance, as we know, because commentaries are done on the live occasions like 26th January parade, or on the sports occasion, or any program being done there or presented. So in commentary, what we can do, we can semi script commentaries. We can have research about the event, the historical background, the details, who are coming, who are not coming. What we see, like in sports commentary, the people who are giving commentary on those programs, they are experts, so they know that what happened in 1983, what happened in 1986, when someone does this swing, someone showed up, like the catch, how they taking up that catch. So they are keep coming with those things. So a commentator has to prepare a semi script, like what will be the things which he can use as a fillers, and to make the live things supported by those documents, and to make it more real, to make it more so that it can be more sensible for the listeners, they can feel it. So the words used will be visually descriptive of the scene, and the speed and style of their delivery will underline the emotional mood of the event. And then additional effects like microphones will reinforce the sounds of the action or the public reaction to it. What commentators or what the RJ, when you have listened to the RJs, when they are telling the score of a match, they will just do it from their physical activities as well in the studio to create that ambience. Yay, hippie, hooray, we have won. They will just clap, they will make some noise, they will gather two or three other members, and they will create that feeling and atmosphere for a listener, so that he or she can feel that what is being presented in front of the commentator's eyes, he or she is explaining each and every minute, each and every minute detail to them without skipping anything. So this is the speciality of commentary. So just as I told, so what preparation do we need for commentary? The official program of events with details of timing, etc., the background of the people taking part, their titles, medals, decorations, positions, relevant history. Like you would have listened to the 26th January parade on radio, on All India Radio, or on the government channels. So they research about all these things in advance, that the admiral is coming, the air force officer is coming, now they are being given the gallantry award, he is giving that, he's who is doing what. So they do a prior research about the event. So decorations, positions, relevant history, military uniforms, clothing, personal anecdotes for the unseen as well as the seen, like organizers, bandmasters, security people, caretakers, etc. So the history of where it is taking place, the buildings, the streets, and their architectural details, the names of the flowers used for decoration, the trees, flags, badges, mottos, and symbols in the areas, the names of any horses or make of vehicles being used, so the titles of music to be played or sung, and any special association it may have with the people and the place. So like they tell that now Brazil is going to sing their national anthem during the FIFA World Cup. Like, yeah, this country is going to have their national anthem, and this has been penned down by Rabindranath Tagore. So these kind of details, which has emotional association with the people, with the place. So these are the important things which a commentary writer can think of before preparing the program, because everything cannot be scripted in that case, but the opening, closing, and the fillers, these things, that these informations can be prepared in well in advance. All right. So uh, and the last one is talks. Talk is a radio discussion or talk, or we can we can call it chat shows. All right. So radio discussion, at its simplest, there will be two speakers representing opposite views together with an impartial chairman. All right. So, in a radio discussion, there will be a chairman who will be impartial, who will be balancing the both the sides, and we'll be having views from both the sides, not only from one perspective like TV debates. So talks are for making more sense, so that all the aspects of a particular chosen topic can be discussed. All right. So 4 or 5 speakers should be regarded as the maximum, not more than that. And it is also known as chat show. And the chairman plus one at a time. All right. So the chairman plus one at a time formula can be satisfactory approach to a discussion, because if all 3 or 4 people will start speaking together, nothing will be like clear for the listener will not be able to distinguish who is saying what. So this is the this is first rule for the radio, for the audio medium. Whenever we are recording something, whenever we are going to collect the vox pop from the people on the ground, or we are taking interview, or we are doing discussions, we have not to interrupt to the person. Let them finish and then speak. So this is the basic thing, that we have not to overlap, because we'll not be able to separate it even in the editing. If the voices have been the audio waves have been overlapped with each other, we'll not be able to separate them. All right. So this is the basic thing which we have to keep in mind, that we have to speak in such a manner so that 2 people or 3 people are not too much interfering in each other's space speeches, so that we are not able to distinguish, and we are not able to even edit it later. So in talk we have to keep it in mind, and the moderator or the producer have to be like too much vigilant to keep control of time, to keep control on subject. Whenever people are running here and there, like on the subject, they have to be like very strict, that we have so much and so and so much time, and we have to just wrap up in this much time, so we'll be just wrapping it up. And in that way they have to keep control on time, on subject, on everything, and have to give chance to each and every person, each and every participant who has been invited there. All right. So these are the few things which I could just collect about the talk, and that's it. These are the formats which I have discussed. Thank you very much. Now you can ask anything if you have any questions, anything which I will try my best to sort it out. Thank you.
Girls, you can ask any questions if you want. One by one.
Okay, ma'am, can I start?
Sure.
Okay. So, ma'am, I want to ask, like, you have told about target audience. So, like, how many factors are there for targeting audience? Is there collecting statistics, like how many person are educated, and how many person are young, how many person are old? According to them, they are just setting their programs, or there are any other factors, ma'am?
Okay. Actually, the power cut is there, so I can see anything. So your question is about target audience, and when we are writing commercials, we have to decide our target audience on the basis of product or service. Suppose if you are creating a commercial for a detergent, so usually people have, like, nowadays it is being changed, like advertisements also work as a trendsetters, just like nowadays you can use males also in that picture, that a person is washing clothes. So this will be an unique idea, which I feel. So the target audience is mainly the family. Hello.
Yes,
Yes.
we can hear
Hello.
you.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
So
yes.
target audience. So in that case, when we are writing commercial, it depends upon the product or the service which is being promoted. So who will be the target audience? If we are promoting a chocolate, that will be the target audience. If we are promoting sanitary napkins, females can be the target audience. So this is the identification of the target audience in the case of commercials. But when we are writing our programs, all the channels have their target audience already there are. Like for example, Big FM, they cater for elderly people, quite senior, from 35 to plus 30 to 35 plus audiences. And Red FM always project themselves as a youth channel, so they will be targeting 18 plus, like 16 to 16 to 25 or to 27 or to 30. So they will be making that kind of content which will be more popular in that age group. So all the stations have their TG already decided. So whenever you join a station, for programming perspective, you will be guided that this is our TG, this is our target audience. You don't have to identify that. When I'm saying identify your target audience, that is, whenever you are writing your script, you have to think of your audience. For example, when you listen to the program from 11 to 2, that has been especially designed for women. In the older times, not now, because now the whole demographic So in 11 to 2, there were programs used to come on radio where females were targeted, because females usually will be at home at the time, and their husbands would have gone to office, their children would have gone to school, so there will be free time for them. So all the cookery shows and the beauty tips related things, all those things broadcasted in that time zone, like 11 to 2. When you are writing for evening program like 5 to 9, so your target audience will be mostly those people who are driving, who are going back to home from offices, and people who are partying, the hostel youth, etc. So in that base, you have to think of your audience, that at this particular time when this program will be broadcasted, who will be listening to this program. So you have to keep those people in your mind. That will be your target audience. Thank you.
Ma'am, I want to know more about, like, is it vary by state? Because if we talk about UP, so here most of person are farmer, so we can listen, like, there are many programs related to farmers, like when they have to sow their crops, and when they have cut down. So, and sometimes we are just listening, they're just speaking in Awadhi, so they just want to connect the villages.
Hmm.
So is this happens with, like, metro cities, like, sorry, states like Delhi and Mumbai? Is it the same things or there difference?
It is different, because radio is a very localized and a very connected medium. I will say very localized medium. It creates personal connect, so it varies according to the cities. Like in Lucknow, it will be using the local language there in FM channels. This is also depend upon the, as I told in the first slide, that there are three major three tier system of the radio, like public service broadcasters, commercial broadcaster, and community radio. So there I explained about the technology, that is FM channels. FM channels are frequency modulation, has range for 40 to 50 kilometers, suppose. So 40-50 kilometer will be only a city region only. So the FM channels has that liberty to change, and not only liberty, that is also limitation. It have to change according to the place. Like if you're listening to Malishka in Mumbai, she will be using Marathi, a lot of Marathi, because she's playing her program in Mumbai, in Maharashtra. If you are listening somebody in Kerala, they will be using language.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
According to the place, it varies. It varies, and as you told about farmers, so in the rural areas, mainly our public service broadcasters are playing their programs. The All India Radio, and All India Radio has both kind of setup, like the FM frequencies also, and the AM frequencies also, like amplitude modulation, which broadcast across the nation. So they make general programs, like for all kind of mass, for masses, for all kind of audiences. So they make it in Hindi or in English.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Welcome.
Rashi, is there a different question into the chat box?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. There is a question by Sakshi Yadav. She says, "Ma'am, while writing radio scripts, there are some points that we have to." Aparna Sharma, please mute your mic. Okay. Sorry for the disturbance. Sakshi Yadav says, "Ma'am, while writing radio scripts, there are some points that we have to keep in mind. Still, how can we maintain that uniqueness of our own writing without interrupting the basic structure rule of radio writing? Can you give some ideas on what area we can do innovation?" Just a minute. And apply our own thoughts.
Thank you, ma'am. So yes, initially it seemed quite tough to me as well, but when you start practicing one thing, you'll become habitual of it. You will be learning while practicing. For example, I'll give you one example from my childhood. When I was in class second, I was told that on 14th of November there will be essay writing competition, and you have to learn this essay. So uh, when I was in class second, probably of 6 or 7 years of age, so there were topics already decided, that you may be asked about your favorite festival, the national festivals, your favorite sport, etc., etc. So what the children were children had learned all the essays, one essay from one genre, one essay from one topic. But what I have done, I didn't learn the sport bit, because I was not I was not used to of learning those sports rules and everything. So except that, I had prepared Diwali, Holi, and all the other topics, but not that sports one. And unfortunately, that sports one came into the competition. That only question came, there was no other option, and I have to write that at that moment when I was in class second. What I did in that situation, in my Hindi textbook, there was a story about I Spice, like aankh michoni. In English, we can say hide and seek. So there was a story about hide and seek, where the characters like Ramesh, Sita, Geeta, Akram, Feroz, they all were playing together, and someone was hitting on the head, and then other was hiding. So what was there, what I did, I just removed all the names of characters and and converted it into the terms and conditions, that this game can be played by two or more players, and one person keeps hiding, one person do that, one person does that. So I just converted it into the essay thing, and I wrote the last line that my favorite game is Aankh Machoni, and I will be playing this game for whole my life. And in class second, I did that, and I got second prize. So it is just like that. When you start riding a bicycle, then only you learn that how to ride a bicycle. Innovation is a day to day thing, and it, as I told you, a good script depends upon the approval of a client, then only it will be able to run on air. So while writing commercials, you have to pay attention what your client is asking, what he or she wants to highlight. The print brief or brochure, whatever they will be providing you, you have to just see what are the things there are which can catch your eyes. So if there are things which are catching your eyes, the words, mainly words, not the visual things, so you can play around those words. As I gave the example of Thangabali Chennai Express, that he just gave me like brief, please play around Chennai Express, something, do something. So I just use that scene in that manner so that I'll not be violating the copyright also. So it comes with the practice only.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. There is one more question by Ishita Agarwal. She has joined us through YouTube. She asked, I wanted to know why different genres of journalism, like investigative, are not popular in radio. What is the reason behind it? And she also wants to know how to start a career in copywriting.
Okay, thank you. Ishita has asked two different questions on two different tangents.
Yes,
Uh,
ma'am.
So the first one is like investigative reporting, why it is not being followed by the radio channels. So the first thing which I would like to tell about the commercial or FM channels, they are not authorized to broadcast news till now from the Ministry of Broadcasting and Information. They are not authorized to broadcast news. So that is why they just do the infotainment part. They do not live telecast of any of the news. So investigative journalism can not be seen there. So that is why they are not following that thing. And even the other formats which I have described today, the documentary, the talks, they all are not they all cannot be seen on the FM channels, but they can be seen on the government channels, the public service broadcasters. So I just try to explain them. And the second thing, if you want to be a copywriter, just whatever, I will say, not a copywriter, whatever you want to be, just start listening to those things. Just start paying attention that how these things are laid down, how these things are being played on air. जितना ज्यादा आप सुनते हैं उतना ज्यादा आप सीखते हैं. So start listening to the various radio channels. If you want to make your career in Hindi radio channels, so I will recommend to listen to
Ma'am, you are muted. Can kindly unmute yourself?
okay,
Yes.
sorry,
Okay.
sorry, good. So if you want to make your career in Hindi radio channels, you have to listen to those channels first, that how they are playing their content. And while listening, you can learn so many things, and you have to start writing in that manner so that you can be able to enter in the market. Because if you will learn from books only and from theory only, and that will not be gelling with the practical things in the market, you will not be able to survive. So you have to listen what is being played, and then you have to create it with your applying your theory together, so that you can be work like you can be working like a bridge from theory to practical, what I did in my case. Because in radio industry, the people who are there, they are not coming from the theory backgrounds, I will say. They have just like uh, most of them started their career in very early days when radio was new. So now they have 10, 12, 15 years of experience. They are very much experienced, and practically they have learned so much that theory cannot tell us.
Okay, thank you so much. Anyone else who is interested to ask ma'am any questions or any doubts? Okay, ma'am, there aren't any more questions.
So, Sangeeta ma'am, with your permission, can I just go for the customary vote of thanks?
Please, Seema.
Thank you, ma'am. So,
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. I would like to just thank you all for giving me this opportunity, and I'm really sorry if because you all are like eminent personalities, and you all head the English department, and I might not be that much capable to match up those things. I have to learn so many things from you. So I'm really thankful to all of you. I'm grateful to you. Thank you very much for inviting me, for giving me this opportunity.
I think Aparna Sharma has raised a hand. Is there any question from her side?
Yes, ma'am, I'm having a question, but I'm in traffic. I'm stuck in traffic. I wanted to ask, as she said that listen to the things what you want to become. But the main thing is there are so many people behind that voice. Not only the radio jockey, not only the voiceover artist or the artist doing different things like advertisements and VOs, different VOs. But what about that thing? The people who work behind the radio jockey, like the music, and oh my god, I'm so sorry. I hope you are getting my question, ma'am.
Okay, so whatever I could just understand that you are asking about the team, the programming
And
team.
actually I am asking ki, what should we do, what should we follow if we want to work in a radio station, work as a person who is connected to radio, but not being a radio jockey. Then what should one person should follow?
I think she is an ex-student and she's working for radio also, as far as I know.
Okay. So the question, whatever
Ma'am,
was.
I am working as an assistant professor in college and PGMC department, ma'am.
Hello.
Aparna, please unmute yourself.
Am
Sorry,
I
not
audible,
mute yourself. Please mute yourself so that she can answer your question.
So actually, I could not get the question completely, but whatever I could understand, she was asking that we only listen to the RJs on air. So if you want to become like copywriter or producer, so how we can become that, and how we can know that people behind the radio, like people behind the RJ who are working in the station, how to work on those positions, what I could get from whatever I have heard. So for being a copywriter, for being a producer, I will just give a glimpse of all the positions. There are very limited positions in a programming department. So there is a producer, a copywriter, a sound engineer, a music scheduler, and this team is led by a programming head or assistant programming head, whatever is available in that region. So this is the programming structure. So if a person wants to become a copywriter, he or she should pay attention to the details of advertising. They should learn about all the mediums of advertising. They should pay attention to the uh, innovation, the creativity, the television, the audio visual ads also will help them to get that uniqueness, that creativity, to enhance their flavors, like how they can experiment. So they should follow all the advertisement related things, that how advertisements being created, what should be done with, what should not be done. They should read books about advertisement. They should follow the work of advertising agencies, for particularly being a copywriter. And also a copywriter has to listen to the station properties being played on air, like it, as I mentioned, about promos, about activity promos, commercials, and interviews. So if he or she will be asked to write anything, they can write it down. What a producer work in radio, I will just tell in a brief that producer works behind the RJ to package to prepare a program, like what for example, tomorrow there is a show from 7 to 11. So the whole programming will be done by the RJ and producer together. They will be sitting together for 7 to 8 hours. They will be working together that what will be our call in hour, what will be our fabric hour, what question we'll be asking to our listeners, what possible answers we can get, what if we will not get any call or not any answers, what we will be filling in there, who will be the celebrity in our show, who will be the guest in our show to coordinate with, to call them, to take their interview. Even the producers do the interviews in absence of RJs, and then replacing the voice of producers. The RJs voices has been edited with the celebrities voices, with the authorities voices. So producer has to be like a person, just like a director in a film, a producer in a radio. That is just the same. While we listen to the word producer, we think that he or she might be producing money from somewhere. No, producer is not producing money. Producer is producing the show. He or she has to research the content, that which content we has to select for our show, for today's breakfast show, today's evening show, what will be the very topical for this region, where people will get engaged and they will be like answering, they will be interested to call us. So all this planning has to be done by the producer. So if someone wants to become a producer, they have to come up with the innovative ideas, that what can be a new shows, what can be the show's name, what can be the content of that show, that like the 4 hours of show is there, then what will be in the first hour, what will be played in the second hour, what will be there in the third hour. So they have to be so much observant that they can create content from their atmosphere, from like they are going in a rickshaw, they are going in autos, and they are watching something on the road, and they can just make it create it content from there. So this is the work of producer, and I explained about producer, copywriter. And if someone wants to be sound engineer in a station, so he or she have to be like very good at softwares, the audio editing softwares, the sound, the special effects, like where to use doorbell, where to use this music, where to use train sound, where to use jungle thing, this thing. And the person should be so much like good in that, in her or his work, so that while watching a script in front of him or her, he or she can imagine that how it will sound on air, how it will create picture. So it has to do with like that the technical skills are more involved in this work. So the person has to be familiar with the nuendo, the sound editing softwares running in the market, which are the currently going on. So they have to be up to date with those softwares, and very much like they have to like that hands-on practice they need for that. So that is the work of sound engineer. Then music scheduler schedules the music. So they should have a sense of music, interest in music, that in which zone which music will be played, like more this thing. There is a like how to schedule which music should be scheduled at what time. So these kinds of things. So these are the profiles which work behind the, like behind on air, I can say, behind RJ. You all have listened, you listen, so you all have that idea that what a RJ is. So that's it. So this was about the behind the scene production. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Okay, so now it's the turn for customary vote of thanks. On behalf of Elan, the Club of Department of English, Navyu Kanya Mahavidyalaya, I first and foremost extend my gratitude and heartfelt thanks to Syed Muhammad RJ Amir Sahab, because he led the path to Mrs. Sundaram Ojha, and that's why today's wonderful speaker is with us. And let me tell you, let me thank you wholeheartedly, Mrs. Sundaram Ojha, that it was really very lucid and very interesting and very, very entertaining session that has warmed up this cool evening. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate your patience to listen carefully, all the doubts, all the questions, and very elaborate answers giving to them, and to satisfy all our students. Really, I'm very, very grateful and thankful on behalf of the whole department and the college. Thank you so much. And now I extend my heartfelt thanks to our principal ma'am, who is really very enthusiastic and who provides the energy to all of us to just arrange these programs all the time, because she's always with us wholeheartedly. And then I extend my thanks to our head Department of English, Dr. Sangeeta Kotwal, whose unending support and guidance always enlightens us and makes us motivated. Then I extend my thanks to all the department people like Dr. Vandana Srivastav, Dr. Andalip Zahara, and the technical assistant who has managed today very, very wonderfully the whole session, Rashi Srivastava, of course. Thank you all, and the participants without whom this session could not have been so lively and enlightening as it is. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Wish you all a very, very happy New Year and a warm and healthy and hearty year ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And sorry, I could not come in front of because there is power cut. So
okay, no problem.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay,
Thank you so
bye.
much.
Bye.
Bye.
Till we meet again, goodbye from all of us. Thank you.
Thank you all, teachers. Thank you, Seema.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your gracious presence.
था पूरा सुना क्योंकि हम रेडियो से बहुत जुड़े हुए हैं पुराने, बहुत मजा आया.
Okay, thank you, Dee.
वाकई में बहुत interesting.
Thank you, Seema ma'am.
Should I end the call?
Sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Sure.
Okay.